so I gotta. Okay, start again. Sorry. So start that story again.
Yeah, there was this newspaper the Army newspaper that they wanted everybody to take, and I didn't want to take it. I didn't see any sense in taking it. I remember when I came in for the distribution of my salary, and they said, "And we're deducting this." They didn't ask me, they told me. And so I got mad, and I said I wasn't going to do it. And from then on, they sort of picked on me. I always had to carry the heaviest weapon, the big BAR or the machine gun or something, which I didn't mind that much at that time. Now my back hurts me, but at that time I liked carrying things, and I've considered it good exercise, so it didn't bother me that much. That may bother them too.
So were you a troublemaker in the Army?
I think I was in certain things. I would be a troublemaker. I also later, when I was in the Army at one time, and I'm not sure I did it really. The more I think about it, but I think I had access to secret and top secret information in my safe, and I forgot to lock the safe, supposedly. Now, there was another person who had access to the safe, Captain Major Boudinot, who was in our different thing, and he didn't like me. I know he didn't like me. He was always very nasty to me. And he's the one that reported to the captain that I had forgotten to lock the safe, and I should be court-martialed for it or something. But the captain, of course, didn't do anything. He was very nice and very fair to me. And what can I say? I didn't remember not locking it, but I didn't remember locking it.
What was your rank in the Army?
Most of the time I was second lieutenant. At the end I was first lieutenant, and then in the reserves as I went on, you had to have a period in the reserves after I became a captain. Not that it meant anything. My best rank is civilian.
What you said that at one point you were mobilized. You didn't know why. Around the Bay of Pigs invasion.
Well, when I first went into the Army, the reason probably that I was assigned to intelligence was because I knew some German, and there was the Berlin crisis. But of course, we never went there, and I never went there. And then the next year was the Cuban crisis, and we were the 2nd Armored Division. The 1st Armored Division was also in Texas, and in the same base. And actually, one of us was going to go to Florida. Luckily for me, was the other one. And they never actually took off for Cuba, but they were stationed, mobilized in Florida, ready to go. And I can remember in our briefings showing the maps to the tracing out different things in the maps, and a little bit not true, but not that much of a lie. The maps were like from Vasco da Gama. I don't think we ever would have made it off the beach relying on them. We had very poor intelligence, very poor information. Now maybe it was just us, maybe it was because they knew somebody else was going to go, or nobody was going to go. But at any rate, the information that we have and that we were using, top secret, should not have been top secret.
You said one time also that they did some experimental drug testing on you in the Army?
Well, they had one test, and maybe you can, I don't know if you can see here, there's a little spot there. That was for something that has a meaning today, the gas. And they would put 3 dabs of gas on you, and 2 of them they would treat, I can't remember, a little differently, but in ways that were beneficial. 3rd one they wouldn't treat at all, and the next day you would have this, I still have this, I don't know if you can get it on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just have a big brown blotch there, but this huge blister would appear on your hand. Of course, for me, I was working in a desk job mainly, so it didn't bother me, but there were people working in the motor pool and in physical things, and all kinds of people got, in fact, terrible infections and things before they stopped doing it. But so that's the Army way.
So one thing you said you learned in the Army is always to be second to last. Is that right?
I mean, that's a little bit facetious, but I learned that when you go into a formation in the Army, it always starts late. If you go out there on time, you wait about a half an hour for everybody else to come, the majors and the generals, those people, and then you go. And I found that the best thing, what you have to try to do if you want to economize on your time, is be second to last out there, because if you're last, you get into a tremendous amount of trouble for keeping everybody waiting. So if you're second to last, nobody pays any attention to you. So I tried to develop a skill of being second to last, and didn't always succeed.
So you went back to law school then after the Army, and you were happier in law school then for the last year and a half.
I took it more easy, and it was just more fun.
And when did you meet Mom? Also, was while you were in the Army?
I
and
met
before?
Mom when I came back from the Army. She was staying at our house.
So it was right after you left?
Taking care of my grandmother and my mother, and was going away somewhere, and I happened to come back, and then she left, of course, not wanting to stay there if I was going to be there, and we started going out, and right away I fell in love with her. She claimed she wasn't that interested in me, but she was. And we went on and off for about 2 years of fighting and being in love and not being in love and all kinds of things of that nature, until we got tired and married.
And you were married in 1965.
Yeah, and I've already said that, although I'm not saying things about my kids because I don't want them to be fighting over my sliding one or the other of them, or being too generous to one or the other of them, I will say that I owe everything in my life after that time to my wife, Barbara. Okay. And I never say anything nice to her, so I'm not going to say anything nice now. Nicer than I've said.
Okay. Okay.